Mr. Diamonds. Call today is about inviting. How excited are you about this call? Because I will tell you, I'm excited. Do we have some excitement in the house? And if not, are you ready to get your pens and pencils, pens and paper, whatever it is, ready to take down the best practices of all y'all's, okay? So I want you guys to share first. And then I'll share something that Carl obviously put out, but would you share one of your best practices when it comes to inviting? Please, ready, set, go. And if not, Breezy, start us off because I know you are good at this.
Okay, I'll start you off. I don't know okay, actually, guys, I'll have to tell you, I've had a huge mental block about inviting this year. That's why when I saw this topic, I was all over it. This last month, I jumped in and I listened to probably a zillion webinars on recruiting and inviting. So I'm getting back on track. But something that I noticed when my team does better, when I do better, is when I have a calendar of events of things to invite to, which seems obvious. But when I share with my coaches, hey, coach open house group is this date. I have a free group this date. I have, my paid challenge this date. And I post that at the beginning of every month, then it's my team starts, kicking into gear and setting up their calendars and inviting to that. And it holds me accountable because I'm all right, I got this going on. I got to invite to, obviously. So maybe it's not so obvious, but I am a total fly by the seat of my pants, hey, let's start a challenge group tomorrow type of a person. So just having that is really good for me and really good for my team. So there you go.
Love it. It seems so obvious, but most of us don't even think about that. So yes, build a calendar, marketing calendar, know what you are going to next. And then obviously once you do that, you know what you're inviting to. So it's actually brilliant, but we literally don't think about it. So thank you for sharing that. Who wants to go next? Come on, you have to be doing something. Come on. Yes, Shelly, go.
Okay. I kind of have a huge confession to make before I say anything. And I hope that there are other people who feel this way. For a very long time, I have felt like my Facebook posts were enough. People would respond to my Facebook posts when I'm the one telling them, no, that doesn't, it doesn't work for everybody. I've put a lot of hustle and grind into this business to get my audience, if you will, to the point where they're responding to my posts and I don't have to do a lot of one-on-one invitations. But that's kind of running out now, which is kind of weird and scary. But, and I've tried, I'm trying to build up my like page. So I'll run ads on my like page, or I'll boost posts on my like page. Mostly for sneak peeks and the coaching opportunity. I haven't done it so much for challenge groups. And I don't like the, I don't want to say the quality of people, but maybe the mindset of people who I bring in on boosted ads on my like page for the business opportunity, because it's all about either the money, the lifestyle. They maybe have never tried Beachbody. They don't know what they're getting into, but they just see all this glitz and glamour and they want that. And then they realize that there's work involved, and then they don't like Shakeology or this, they're not doing the workouts. And so therefore the business isn't working for them. So anyway, that's a side story, but that's one of the things that I've been using to try to market better in terms of inviting. I do, my Facebook posts. I have not gotten as consistent as I want, like Breezy said about having a calendar. And I don't know what my mental block is. It's by nature, I'm not an organized, detail-oriented person. So to be able to say, oh, next week looks good, let's run a sneak peek next week, and not have to commit to it at the beginning of the month, but just say, oh, my schedule looks good, let's go ahead and throw one in next week. I'm awful about that. And therefore my team has, no guidance in that area. But so I'm probably not contributing a whole lot, but what I'm trying to do is get up and going with Streak so that I can be more regimented with my contacts and who to follow up with. But for now, it's just my Facebook posts, and it's reaching out to those people who like or comment on my posts about an upcoming challenge group. That's what got me to this point, which is kind of scary to think that, all that we teach our coaches to do, I personally don't feel like I've had to. I kind of feel like a hypocrite in that part, that the inviting, the one-on-one, like the massive, 10 invites a day, 20 invites a day to get you there, might not be necessary for some people. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Totally. I think you hit on the nail on the head, though, when you said follow-up. So, one of your best practices as far as inviting goes, I would assume would be follow-up, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So you hit it. So thank you for sharing that.
Okay, you're welcome.
Is there anything else? Is there anything else you want to share with that?
No, that's why I'm here. I am that's my area that I need to work through and get some guidance on.
Totally. Perfect. Thank you, dear. I'm going to skip down to Carrie. What about you, girlfriend? What is one of your best practices when it comes to inviting?
Honestly, you are talking to me, right? There's no one.
I am. You're the only Carrie, girl.
So I feel very similar in the sense that my first whole year, I really didn't have to invite, and it's terrible. I would just post and people would come to me, and I would kind of go for that bare minimum of Success Club 10. And with that, I was able to kind of recruit coaches and whatnot. And every now and then, if I had a slow month, I'd just send out like 30 blind invites just to people who had liked my posts in the past or whatever. And I'd just be like, hey girl, like, how are you? Nice dog you have. I don't know, like find something to connect. And then I'd just be like, hey, I'm starting a challenge group, with health and fitness. It's going to be a 30-day group. Do you have any interest, or do you know anybody that does, and that worked for me up until the point of about 3 to 4 months ago, when I think I've completely ran through my entire warm market, meaning everybody that I've ever met, acquaintance, mutual friends. I've just gotten to a point where people are not coming to me anymore. And so it's really been like a wake up call. I need to start developing relationships with strangers, honestly. And I have not done that in the past. So I don't know what I've been doing recently. And I don't know, I see some coaches that have been around for 4 years or whatever, and they're putting out huge Success Club point numbers. So I'm curious, what other people are doing to connect with these strangers and find them. And so anyway, but what I'm doing is I am through my like page, find some people, I'll add them as friends on my personal page. And I do very similar things on Instagram too. I just find people, and I've just been sending messages to start connecting. So I try to connect with 5 to 10 people a day. And I'm just like, hey, how are you? No invite. Just, I saw we have similar interests, et cetera, and just kind of try to start a conversation. Some people respond, some don't. The ones that do, I'll just try to keep a list of them, and I'll kind of like and comment on a few of their photos every few weeks or whatever. And then I guess what I've been doing recently is just when I feel comfortable, we've connected enough, I don't know, have liked a few photos of each other's or whatever, I'll just send an invite. Say, hey, I thought of you. I'm running a challenge group, et cetera, et cetera. Is this anything you're interested in? So anyway, I just kind of started this recently. It's obviously connecting with complete strangers and just then inviting them, a few weeks down the road. And it's going okay so far. I can't say I've necessarily sold any challenge packs, but I feel like I'm, meeting new people and starting new conversations, which hopefully in the long run will help.
Which is ultimately connecting. So I love that. So that's what I wrote. That's the word. I'm taking a word of what you're saying. I love that. So thank you for sharing, girlfriend. Appreciate it. Rachel, you had your hand up, girlfriend. You want to go?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so I am completely paralyzed by doing cold inviting. So I don't. And I have built almost my entire business by using groups for Facebook to find my cold market. And so we get this told, I'm sure some of you know, to write down your top 5 things that you enjoy and go find groups that are like that. But I also write down the top 5 things that I enjoy and make my own groups. So I have like a Harry Potter rereading group, and I have a book, Sugar Pop Challenge, like this year-long book thing. And so all I do is I post on my personal page, and I'm like, hey, I'm starting this new group for the year. It's like a Sugar Pop Challenge group, so you'll have to read, 40 books, and I'll put some kind of cute picture, like me writing all the books down that I'm going to want to read, or all the things. And then I'll just say, does anybody else want to join me? And I'll get tons of people that are interested. And then once I get them in the group, I'm like, hey guys, just go ahead and add all your friends to this too that are interested. So you can share this link and, post it on your wall. I'd love to have more people or whatever. And then as it goes down, I'll, like maybe 2 weeks later, I'll be like, oh my gosh, we're so close to 400 people. Can you guys just like throw it out to your team again or throw it out to your people and invite more people to join our group? And then I'll go through and I'll add all those people as friends. They already know me from the group because I'm super active in there. And so then they see my personal page and they see what I'm doing with my, workouts and food, or, when I do my call to action posts on my personal page or whatever the case is. So I have built almost my entire team actually is from groups. So most of them have come from my March Moms group. Most of them have come from my own groups, from some planner groups that I'm in because I'm into planning and whatever. And so when I get into these groups, I never talk about Beachbody. I'm just myself. And so I'm super outgoing, and I just comment on different things. I really never bring up Beachbody, and I don't ever do like little things. I can see it because there'll be other coaches in the group too, and you can just tell. I feel like when they're trying to fish for somebody to friend them or something like that. And there's a group of girls that we've had like a big, following or whatever, that actually post a whole bunch of screenshots from other people who have cold invited them that don't know anything about them. And they're just like, what is this? Who would do that? Why, I don't want to talk to you, blah, blah, blah. And then there'll be people behind that'll come and be like, oh my God, that's terrible. Rachel Pipes Allen is a Beachbody coach, and she's actually never like that. You should totally reach out to her. She's super nice. And so it's just really worked really well for me. So I don't know that it's always going to do that, but I mean, some of the groups that I'm in are like 18,000 people strong. And so if you're just continuing to talk and build up and people know your name, then you can send them that friend request so that then they see your personal page. So that's how I run my business, I guess.
Can I just say hashtag game changer? That was awesome. Thanks, girlfriend. I know Shelly's like, brilliant. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. Woo, Whitney, let's go to you, honey darling.
Okay, my Facebook is kind of tapped. I've struggled with Facebook. And so I've been mainly using Instagram for the last probably 5 or 6 months. And I have a system that seems to be working. Some months it doesn't work so well, but I notice it just builds momentum. So what I do is on Sunday nights, I find 20 people for the week that follow me, that I'm gonna solely pay attention to all week. And then that next Sunday, I send out an invite. And I only invite to the coaching opportunity. I don't invite to challenge groups. I had crazy results, and those still do pretty well for challenge groups. People just come to because of my pictures for those, or they're built with new coaches. So I don't really invite to challenge groups most of the time I don't. Anyways, so Instagram, and then Sunday. So Sunday I send out an invite. So out of those 20 people, there's usually a good solid 8 to 10 that I've kept up with through the week that are responding back. If they're not responding back, I'm not going to invite them. But if I feel like there's some sort of relationship, I invite. So I send out 8 to 10 coaching opportunity invites, and it's real basic. It's like, hey, I've had such a good week getting to know you. Have you ever thought about coaching? Because obviously they've seen my page and checked myself out, so they know what I'm doing. You'd be amazing at it because blah, blah, blah. And then that's it. I leave it at that. And those work really well. So if I feel like maybe still connecting but not there yet, I'll roll them over to the next week, but I'll keep them in my 20. I don't go over 20 because it gets too crazy. I know on Instagram, some people, it's not like Facebook where some people don't post every day. So sometimes it takes a little bit, but I notice that even if I'm commenting on a picture that's a couple days old, I don't go more than a couple days because I think that's creeper status because my coaches do that. I'm like, no. But I'll notice they're still liking and commenting or looking at my stuff. So there's still somewhat of a relationship, even if they're not posting every day. And sometimes it takes more than that week, but most of the time out of that 20, I can get 8 for the week. So that's where the majority of my inviting comes from. And most of the time they won't sign up right away, but most of my coaches are strangers, almost my entire team. I didn't have much of a warm market, that cared. So, they came a little later and they're still like 2.5 years later, still like peeking around the corner. But for the most part, I didn't know any of my coaches. So, and a big chunk of them come from Instagram.
Genius. Right there. Good job. Thank you. I love that you simplify it. Like literally, because it can be so overwhelming, but the fact that you narrow it down to 20 and you really try and get to know them, network with them, and then eventually invite them once you do gain that relationship. Love that.
You can do more. And there's probably been time. I know when I was pushing for Elite, I probably did more, but it's more, you want to keep it simple because I get overwhelmed really easy. And so does
Amen. So do I. So I get it. Love it. Thank you so much for sharing. Can I go down the line right now? Christine, Carol. Yeah, you. Do you mind sharing?
No, not at all. I'll share. For those that have people that come to you, I think my first 3 days as a coach, I've had that. So everybody, part of me wants to punch you in the face, and part of me is really happy for you guys. So way to go. My strength is follow up. I'm very persistent, and so that's what I do. And I try to teach my team that. And we actually, my coach has a weekly call, and one was like my peer, I guess, did an excellent call on follow-ups. And I will share it with you guys if you want. Oh my gosh, it was just the statistics of the follow-up. And if you don't do it, you got to know that it's 8 to 15 times before they say yes. And the percentages were phenomenal. And so even what I did last week, it's not always easy for me, please. But I'm a Success Club 11 right now, which is for me, mind blowing. Some people may make 35. I don't. I'm a 5 girl. But I took, when I was at 9, I showed my team. I wanted them to have the realistic expectations of what it took. So I took each individual, and say I said, Brittany, start a conversation, August 2014, said yes. And I showed the examples of each and every individual so they would see I didn't ask them yesterday and they bought the challenge pack today. Or that coach that signed up last week attended 2 sneak peeks and about 87,000 conversations before she finally committed. So that's because there's a lot of things I don't do right. So that's my thing. So that's it.
No, that is amazing. And I love the fact that you threw in that percentage, because I'm sure you probably wrote this down also when Kim Carver did the 4 Vitals live. So he's doing the 4 Vital Be Trainings live right now. And he said, and I wrote this down because he did it for us, but 80% of your sales are made on the 5th follow-up. Yeah. And that's why we are so terrible at what we do, is because we don't do the follow-up. So I love that. If you don't mind sharing that call, within our group.
Oh, absolutely. It was so good.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. But follow-up and persistence. I love that. So thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
Okay. Miss Julia.
Hi, guys. Sorry, I was a little distracted. My sister came to pick up the dogs, and it was nuts. Well, I am getting myself off the struggle bus this month, because last month I took a good 2.5 weeks off. This pregnancy is kicking my ass. And I was just I don't want to do anything. But then you realize when you take your foot off the gas for that long, it catches up. And so I had to really sort of back to basics, like dig into like inviting, because I just felt like I had this good, like you just ruin your momentum when you do that. And I think it was a good wake up call for me in terms of like the coaches that I see that are always at zero, because it's so hard to start from zero. And then I got a return, so I'm at like -1. So I'm like, okay, like time, pedal to the metal. And so we ran a 7-day push to diamond group a couple weeks ago. And in that group, there was part of the group was to download your Facebook friends list. And you guys, this has helped so much because I've been a coach for a long time. So I probably tapped out most of them, but there's lots of people I'm going back to. And so when you can do it under, I can't remember what it is, but under settings, you download your Facebook data basically, and it'll send it to your email. And then what I did was I just copied and pasted the list onto a Google Doc, and I just like went down, found some women, and so it gave me a list, because I just like every day I was like, ugh, who do I go to? And I'm kind of in the same boat where I'm building my like page, and it's not all translating into Success Club yet. It's helping. So that really helped me. And I just made a list of like 100 people, and I didn't invite them all in one day, but I started doing like 20 a day, which is a lot for me. And there was like, and it was funny because I started that, like May 1st. And it took like up until now, I have like 4 or 5 enrollments out, but it took that long and kind of that big effort at the beginning. So I just highly recommend never, even if you're not feeling good, don't take that much time off, because I was like, it was hard to get back into the groove. And then the other thing I did was, through my like page, I launched an event, which I had never done. And I did like an advertisement for an event. And it's been really cool. It's new. So, and I spent, I think like maybe $50 or $60, but 2 of the enrollments I have out are for that. I don't know if they're going to pull the trigger or not, but I think it's really cool because you can basically see who's interested or who says they're going, and then message them from there. So it's a lot of new people, and I don't know if I'm quite, like, some of them I friend requested, some of them, I don't want to friend request too many people in one day, but basically each day I'm just posting something like, here's the containers and this is how it works, fill out this application. Today, because I'm kind of like in a last ditch effort, I'm like, I'll give away a free cookbook. But the event seems like a good place because it shows if people are interested. So I'm not like, I don't have to cold message. I don't have to, which I have no problem with. Like, I like cold messaging, but I think it's a friendly place where people say, okay, they click, yes, I'm interested. And they see those posts pop up every day because it'll show, Julia Jackson posted in this group. So it's my first event and I don't know quite yet, but those are just a couple things. The list and the event just gave me some new, like, I was just looking at the people, like, I think I have, 30 or 40 people that say interested. So I don't know what the percentage of that is, but it's like 30 or 40 people I didn't know before that I'm talking to. And I was just like, I need some fresh people. So that's kind of been helping. And word of advice, don't take 2.5 weeks off because it'll catch up.
Amen. But I want to ask you a question because you said that you actually enjoy cold messaging. So will you just tell me what your messaging process is?
Yeah, I think it's all about having a good script and having, like, whoever said that, like, having something to invite to. So I'm like, I usually, like, I'll just, I break the ice in the cold invite by just being like, hey, and I say something like what I see on their page, or like, looks like life is good, the kids are so cute, whatever, like, it has to be authentic. And then I kind of just, like, I go into this, like, I'm like, I hope you don't mind me messaging you about something like this, but you popped into my head. So, like, from the beginning, I think you obliterate that kind of awkward thing with cold message, because it's like, I know this might be sort of out of the blue that I'm messaging you, but I thought of you, and then invite them to the challenge group. This is, kind of what it is. And it's very simple. It's like, would you like some more details? And then I follow up with an email with info. But I think it's just about making it simple. And it's funny because when I went through my list of cold invites, a lot of these people, when I look back, I had done my homework in the beginning and had some sort of conversation or had said hi to them at some point. Not always. But it just doesn't get met with a lot of pushback. Like, if people are like, no, I'm not interested, I'm like, cool, hope you're good. I don't know. I think I just have a thick skin about that. I'm like, I don't care. Like, if they say no, I don't really care. Like, I still love them. And I'm still, like, that's not the only reason I want to reach out to them. But for me, it just gets some traction going. So I think it's about showing that it is a little awkward. Like, hey, this is weird and kind of out of the blue. And I hope it's okay. I send you this message, but I thought of you, so that helps, I think, take out the awkwardness.
No, that's awesome. Thank you. You said you love cold messaging, and I know that's fearful for many, so I just wanted to hear that. So thank you so much. We have about 7 minutes left, and then I want to share the last 4 just about, a new kind of tweak on inviting. So I'm going to leave myself about 4 minutes, but we have about 7. So let's go to Christy Lyons, if you don't mind, girlfriend. Will you just share your best practice when it comes to inviting, please?
Sure. I actually am kind of like everybody else, and I don't send invites to challenge groups. So I did jot down a few notes, though, real quick. I actually have my personal page, and then I have 2 Facebook like pages. I don't have Instagram. I don't have any other social media right now. I have my fitness page that has about 5,000 people on it, and then I run a Picky Eaters for Kids support page, and I have about 3,500 people on that. And that's an interest of mine, but I use that as a funnel. So I run clean eating groups for kids, and I get to know the moms in those groups, and then I friend request them because I know that they're interested in getting their kids healthy, so they're interested in being healthy too. And so then they join my other groups for moms. So I kind of funnel them through that way too. And I'm also interested in helping people, get their families healthy. So that's one way I get, a variety of people. Also, one thing I started doing, I'm sure we all get those hundreds of sales people contact us. Hey, will you host this party for me? Whatever. So now when I get those people contact me, I throw it back at them and I say, hey, honestly, I can't host that party because with my Beachbody business, I can't, but hey, are you interested in a challenge pack? I throw it right back at them. And 50% of the time, those people will sign up. I'm like, all right, we're in the business and MLM, and they're like, okay, cool. And those people will sign up, so I throw it back at them. I figure, why not? If they're going to ballsy enough to ask me, I'm going to ask them. And another thing that I'm doing too is when people sign up that haven't ever been in a challenge group and I don't know them very well, I say, hey, would your mom want to do this with you, or sister? It's so much more fun to do this with a friend. How about you, would you want to do this with your mom or sister? 50% of the time, they'll have someone sign up with them. So I do that. That helps. On the 1st of every month, every single coach on my team, we send 100 follow-ups. 100 follow-ups. We make our list, and every single one of us sends 100 follow-ups. And usually we all sell at least 1 to 2 challenge packs on the first day of the month with those 100 follow-ups. So that's just something that we do that helps us. And then my last tip that I do is we change up the theme of our challenge groups each month, and we invest a lot of time, and I personally invest a lot of money in my menus, and I have someone that creates new menus every single month for 21 Day Fix. We have 40 21 Day Fix menus, and they are themed with summer, Christmas, grilling, 4th of July, and that's how we have so many people that stick with us and invite their friends to join. That keeps people interested in coming to our challenge groups. So those are kind of a few of my tips that I use.
Love it. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, Crystal. Hey, girl. Do you mind sharing real quick what one of your biggest or your best practices is on inviting, please?
Sure thing. So I'm doing a lot of the free groups too that have nothing to do with Beachbody. I just ran a thrifting one. Because honestly, I was on the struggle bus too, like a lot of people. So I'm trying to get outside of my comfort zone. But the new thing that I'm doing is a live community challenge group. So within like local community groups on Facebook, I've advertised workouts and coffee. So like this last week, I think I had 8 people come over, and I was just simply going to do workout with them and then have coffee after. I had no intentions of really this first meeting talking about Beachbody. But we did the workout, and then people wanted to know what it was. So what I decided to do was I'm going to run a challenge group where people will come over on every Saturday. and I can help measure them or take their measurements if they want me to. But we're just going to do workouts together and kind of do life together. So that's one thing I've done. The other thing I've done is step really far outside of my comfort zone. And I decided to like make a big personal goal and then create a different social media platform besides Facebook for people to follow that and hopefully get them interested in what I'm doing. So I'm doing a fitness competition in 20 weeks, and I created a platform on Instagram and Snapchat for it. So I now have people follow me on that and then wanting to know more about what I'm doing and why I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone. And I'm just going to try to tap into a different demographic than what I have currently, because I feel like my warm market is kind of gone. So I'm trying to create a new one, if that makes sense. So those are two of the biggest things I'm doing right now.
Way to get out in your community, girlfriend. I know we talked about this when I saw you, but love, love, love that. Great idea. So write that one down if you're wanting to get into your community. So thank you so much for sharing. Allie, are you there? Are you running with kids? Okay, no worries. So let's just go to, do you guys kind of want to hear what Carl did say on, no napping kiddos. No, or not napping. You're good, no worries. So basically, I took some great takeaways from Carl's Success Starter call that he did several weeks ago. That's what I wanted to share today. Do you ladies feel okay about that? Because it's some great content. So, okay. So, literally we have 5 minutes, so this is perfect. So invite. That's the number one the hardest vital that every coach typically gets held up on. It because it's so salesy, right? We instantly think we have to invite them, and keep on inviting them until finally they say yes. But if we can get over this, obviously it will allow you not to get derailed, and that's why he's really wanted to tweak it. So basically, he wants it to say attract, connect, and then invite, because that's non-salesy. So if you take this to your coaches and you say, okay, invite means attract, connect, and then eventually you'll be able to invite. Basically, it comes down to engaging in conversations on social media around town about losing weight, financial freedom, getting in shape, anything that deals with a Beachbody business. From there, you're going to naturally be attracting also others to you, and then connecting them to their goals and a program that's going to fit their needs. I know we instantly always think, 21-day fix. And I know that's me. That's my soulmate workout. So I instantly think, okay, it worked for me. It's going to work for you. But it's about attracting them to a goal and a program that's going to be best for them, obviously. And it's all about non-salesy. It's all about multi-level helping, not multi-level marketing. So when that is in your head, how am I going to help this person, okay? Typically it comes by asking a lot of questions, obviously. And then connecting. Connecting is, how are you feeling? What are you doing this summer? What are your kids up to? How old are your kids? Just like what Julia was saying. It's just asking those questions to truly get to know them, but it's being genuine. You know when somebody is being fake on asking you a question. So dig into their Facebook, see what's going on with them, and then personally try to connect you two together. How could you two be best friends? Okay. But then, and then it just says be the person that asks questions. I guess I covered that. But then from there, then you can invite them to a challenge group, because then you can say, hey girl, I know we have a lot of similarities. I know you see what I do, yada, yada, yada. From here, I know you asked me a couple of fitness questions. Hey, have you ever done a Beachbody program? And then from there, you can see what their similar interests are with that. But basically, he says, just simplify this. Honestly, take it to attract, connect, and then inviting. So if you can take that to your teams, but he said it's just very simplified. But that's the whole thing on that. Whew, 2 minutes. Okay, what questions do you have on that? Does that kind of simplify the whole invite? Because you take that to a brand new coach and they're going to be like, I have to invite them 3 times and then they're going to say yes. You're like, and no.
Too, because what I hear a lot from my coaches, I don't have a challenge group coming up. So since we just started our big Mommy Makeover Challenge group last Monday, they're sitting here twiddling their thumbs on the invite because there's nothing coming up. And I'm like, no. You got to be out there connecting. Yeah. I like it.
I have an amazing story for you. Who's trying to call for Summit? Yeah, who's trying to call for Summit this week? Okay. If you need me, let me know. Just do it. That's all I'm going to say, okay? Make it happen, Captain. So I want to tell you the story, and I may get cut off, but I had a team call that I did last year, and I had this amazing coach that was in her 3rd month of being a new coach. First and foremost, she hit Success Club obviously in the 1st month. 2nd month, she was at Success Club 22. So she told me this, and I was like, say what? I'm like, okay, stop, let's celebrate. And she said, well, Brittany, that's not the beauty of the story. Basically, what she did in her, and actually this must have been her 2nd month, so she was in Success Club 22. And basically, she put out a silly, stupid post on Friday, okay, that was the wrong time, all of these things that she was told not to do. But she's like, I just feel like it was heavy on my heart. Needless to say, 3 days later, she ended up doubling her Success Club to 44. So that was in her 2nd month. And it was just because it was all those relationships that she built the last 45 days that all of a sudden these people said, oh my gosh, I want to be part of that, or that girl's amazing. And it was just those relationships that she built along the way, and they all said yes, and she ended the month with Success Club 44. Share that with your team. That was a brand new, like, Emerald coach, okay? Anyways, ladies, thank you for being part of this call today. Amazing topic. I hope you wrote down many, many, many takeaways. Please do post that video, Christine. And thank you, ladies, for showing up today. Let me know what you need. If you're if you're going through that qualification period this week, okay, you need help, let me know. Do not feel any stress to reach out, okay? I'm definitely here for you, ladies. Thank you so much for jumping on. Have a good day. And we didn't get cut off. See ya.